podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Friday night lights in Croke Park. If nothing else, Leinster are going to break ground in some new way. Let's start the show. Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Interpro Show, your home for all things Irish rugby. And joining me tonight, we have Adam, Ben, and David all on the call, all donned in jerseys by our request, because we're looking back on URC semi-finals on what we believe is our 50th episode. We believe. We're not 100% sure. I will go around the room really quickly on jerseys. I'm going to start with Ben, just so we don't confuse people, because you are in a black jersey that has O'Neill's on it. Ben, enlighten our guests, our listeners.
Our
You.
listeners, hello, listeners. Welcome to episode 50. If only one account, that'd be great. But Munster champions, it's great to be back. Isn't it lovely when sport can't hurt you anymore?
It still can. It's still. Trust me. I'm getting ready for 50 for 4 weeks time. Cork are going to be Galway, but if they don't,
No,
you will hear it right here. I will be out in force. This is going to be a hurling podcast. Me
we
and
will do
you,
a live
Ben.
show for the All Ireland semi-finals.
Do
It'll
you know
be
what, Ben?
fine.
If it's a Limerick Galway All Ireland final, we're doing a preview show, me and you. There's a plan. We'll get it set in stone. I'm in a Galway jersey on the Gallev. Galway are back. The Conquerors are right. But in rugby jerseys, as is a rugby podcast, as you would expect, we have Adam and David. Adam, enlighten us. Why are you wearing a possible Ruan Pienaar jersey?
Ruben Peter didn't wear this jersey, but I did buy it because he retired. I wasn't gonna buy a Montpellier jersey, and I've already got a Sharks one. So,
You
but
already have a
yeah,
prison outfit.
yeah, I
Hey!
did, yeah. Hey, anyway, this was a 2014 Cheetahs away jersey. So it's mad because it's older than most of the kids I teach, which is
That's not what I thought
bonkers.
you were going to say.
It's mad. But anyway, it's really, yeah, it's a really nice kit. I bought it on eBay. £15. There you go.
Sorry, I'm actually quite tired. So I'm just like really laughy, whatever the right word is. Giggly is the word.
Giddy.
Giddy is another word. David, I have noticed that you are wearing a Leinster jersey, as is your right, with Castor on it. So does that mean that there's friends across the barricade situation going on here, and that you're making amends with Castor?
No, I just thought, I'm very even-keeled, I feel, over the course of the season, but it's now reached the point where everyone else is gone. We're the only ones left, so I'm the only one who gets to still wear the current season jersey.
That makes sense. That makes
Big.
too much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think do we mute him? Will we just slag Leinster and make sure he stays on the call? Is that the best way to do it?
I think that's what I've done
Um,
for 49, 50 episodes, so it's
That's fucking
fine.
true. That is true, honest to God. And if you do like that madness, there's going to be lots more where that came from. But as we said, just one game to dig into this evening. As Leinster overcame the Stormers 2011, fact check, I'm not even sure if that's correct, to make it to back-to-back URC finals, back-to-back finals in Croke Park, back-to-back finals against the Bulls. So, David, there's only one obvious starting point, which is Glasgow. No, sorry, the Bulls in a final.
Yeah, Bulls, they're like it's a big day for the Bulls. Leinster have kind of got a name for themselves in Irish rugby as being the early men with the number of finals they get to and then fail to convert on. The Bulls are right up there as our challengers in the URC now. I think this is now their fourth final, am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
And they haven't
Four
won
out
it
of five.
once. Yes, so as much as it's great to see Leinster here, and we would hope to be able to salvage a strong end to our season, like there's a lot of motivation for them um to take a scalp and get a trophy because I think they'll be really frustrated some of those past losses. And now having beaten Glasgow in Glasgow, they surely have to think, well, there's no reason why if we can beat them in Scotland, we can't beat Leinster in Dublin. So I think they'll both be up for it. I think they're a lot less shorn of their frontliners than the Stormers were. They've got Andre Pollard, they've got Billy LaRue. Um, they have the weapons to do it. They have the weapons to make it a dogfight. And I definitely don't think it'll be a repeat of last year. I think it's going to be a much tighter, much harder fight.
Yeah, last year was a little bit. it was definitely strange to say the least. It was a bit all over the shop in its own little way. I suppose the one thing that could be thrown at the Bulls if they don't win is like like a sign of like a bad podcast is when, sorry, I don't mean that to be mean. That's not what I meant. Um, do you know the sign of like trying to find your own identity? So you're like, yes, use like NFL. We watch other sports. Let's use NFL. Like if the Bulls don't win, you're gonna have like, oh, they're like the Buffalo Bills of rugby. Do you know what I mean? So like you're gonna get all that kind of stuff, to be honest. People claiming now they're moles or whatever. But Ben, on that, and we're getting into this game as a whole, would start it here. Leinster, first 20 minutes, unbelievable. Looks like they're going to win this game by 40 points. Andrew Porter goes off on 21 minutes. Not the only injury that Leinster have, and the Stormers find a way back in. So it kind of does show a little signpost. How do you get at Leinster? Hope they have a couple of guys injured.
Is injured and hoping to slow down Gibson Park. But
Yeah.
they
We
need Porter
get
back
into
from
that. We get
injuries.
on to Gibson Park in a minute, so don't
They're
spoil it.
apologies. They need no, Porter's huge. If they don't have Porter for the Bulls, you'd really worry what that Bull scrum can do to him. Like I have had my points about his scrummaging on this over the past number of seasons, but he's a rock in what they have. Like if they're still going to be missing Sheehan, Furlong, and Henshaw on top of Porter again, it's Leinster will probably do it, but it certainly sets them back a little and give the Bulls huge hope to try and get through that. Like Dave's right, it won't be like last year. The Bulls won't be as bad. If Leinster are down six frontline bodies, oh boy.
That's the thing, because they're already nearly there. So Porter is a doubt. Sheehan missed this game. Tyke Furlong missed this game. Ryan Baird is out. Well,
Henshaw out, Tommy
Henshaw not
O'Brien.
involved. I don't know if he's injured. Tommy O'Brien is out. Um, so there's a couple more, and like Kieran Frawley is dropped, annexed, sent off to purgatory or wherever Leo Cullen has abandoned him to. Probably to the upper tier, the Aviva, probably as
He's just
lonely
stuck
as
in Limerick
anywhere.
Junction waiting for his train to Galway. He's fine.
Hey, Limerick Junction trains don't go to Galway. Thank you very much. They go the other direction. Thank you very much. I should know this. But no, it is a weird situation where it's like Leinster are not as healthy as they were in previous finals, and that kind of adds to it because the Stormers aren't great. And Adam, we have to discuss it. Like this game was won by a small Kiwi-born bald man who decided, fuck it, I'll just win it myself. And that was Gibson Park, man the match, a brilliant try at the end. That's kind of what you need to win semi-finals every once in a while. And I know we slag Leinster for not getting over the line, but if they had a couple more performances like these from Gibson Park, they'd have done it before.
Yeah, do you know what? Gibson Park is I would say like an anomaly, but he isn't. We know that these players are professionals, but he was phenomenal. He was one of those players that like he was one of those players that didn't really put a foot wrong in that sense. Um I say, there's that whole talk of like what 10's gonna play for Leinster next, and it's like, right, that doesn't really matter when you have that good of a scrum half. He can make any 10 look good. I think he can make a team look good in general as well. I think you can put myself at 10 for Ireland or Leinster and have Gibson Park outside me, and I would look quite good, to be honest with you. That's how good he is. He makes players look way better than they can, way better than they are, and I think that's the role of a high quality scrum half. Look at Dupont. I think if Dupont wasn't in the picture in World Rugby, I think Gibson Park would be talked about as, one of the greats. But then Dupont is in this sort of, in this sphere, so it sort of casts a shadow over it. So yeah, I think he was really good. I think he took his try brilliantly. It was such a Gibson Park try as well. Just sort of that roll out of a ruck, pick up, nice scoop into a run into try. So I think it was brilliant, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Yeah, he was excellent. Now I was kind of working on a different sport at the time, so I didn't have both eyes in this, but you probably noticed it, David, live. Like he had full control in this game, and like for all the talk of Leinster tens and like it's the Harry Byrne era, it's the Sam Prendergast era, it's the Gerard Frawley, it's the Charlie Tector, it's the Paul Neary, it's the whoever it might be. Sam wasn't brilliant. Now he wasn't bad, but he wasn't brilliant. Harry didn't really have much of an imprint on the game. I suppose the Stormers were really in chase mode in that last 20 minutes. But it was Gibson Park's game and Gibson Park's night. And it was fitting in some ways that he got that score because he was the one, when Leinster were at their best, who was driving them around the field.
Yeah, he was. He's like, I think I said it to you a while ago. Like the 10 discussion tends to dominate. Certainly Irish rugby. I don't know if it does everywhere else to quite the same degree, but certainly it dominates Irish rugby. And I do wonder sometimes how the other 14 players on the pitch feel about it because they all have quite a significant impact depending on the game and the position. Gibson Park is so much this team. Like the drop off. Lou McGrath is a great player, but he's not a game breaker the way Gibson Park is. He doesn't make things happen the way Gibson Park does. And Leinster have needed that because we haven't been as cohesive and we haven't been as certainly our clinical ness has been awful. Like our red zone conversion rate was atrocious really in this game. So you needed someone like Gibson Park who that cliche of heads up rugby. That's what this guy does. That's where he lives. It's why he paired so well with James Lowe. It's kind of the way the pair of them are programmed. He was able to just look at a situation, even for his try. Like there isn't really anything there, and it was kind of a frustration for me that we put ourselves in these great positions, not capitalize on them, and then what ended up being the score that sealed the game for us was an act of stupidity from a Bulls player, which resulted in a yellow card. But because the ball bounces loose, it's that half a second. Bordeaux took such great advantage of it in our game against them, where as soon as the ball bounced loose, they made sure one of them was the first on it and the first to react and the first to kick through or do whatever. There's that moment where it bounces and everyone looks at it because they're looking to see who's going to grab it. And Gibson Park was the first one there and he just sprinted. And he knows he's just fast enough to get through the line. And that kind of reaction is what you needed from someone in that situation because Leinster had been grinding and pushing and trying to get across the line by literally any means necessary and just consistently conspiring to find ways not to do it. And it took him grabbing the ball himself, literally, and then grabbing the whole thing by the scruff of the neck and just going, literally, I will do it myself. So in a very real way, like as with so many games this season, if he's not on that field, Leinster probably don't win. So yeah, he had a massive impact. I don't think like the tens weren't statement performances. They weren't terrible. There were some minor mistakes, carelessness as much as anything else. I think the instance of Sam getting turned over was more frustrating and more I still feel more of a team failure in that it's been a kind of consistent problem with Leinster late in the whole season, going back to the Munster game where they start an attack and then don't seem to have thought out what's next. In that case, Sam calls for the ball to go wide after we're picking and going for a while, and then it's like, what are you going to do now? And the answer was, I don't know. So he got tackled and then he got turned over because there was no support. So there's no that second order of thinking seems to be missing from a lot of our attack. Gibson Park was able to get around that by just doing it himself. So there doesn't need to be a second order of thought. But yeah, I think, for all the injuries that we talked about, and it will be hard on Leinster. We didn't even mention Ryan Baird, he's been out for so long, but he was such a good player for Leinster earlier in the season. We're lucky that we have Jack Conan to step in there at 6 as well. So it kind of papers over that one. But like there's a lot missing there. If Gibson Park, we could get all those players back. If we lost Gibson Park, that might still not be enough. So it's kind of galling because he's not that young anymore. But for as long as we have him, he's going to be an integral part of this game. And if Leinster are going to win this final, it's going to be because he has a really good game.
He is
And I
signed
think
until the World Cup, actually, is he? Just to check.
he is.
Gibson
Yeah.
Park is
I
like
don't think it was ever formally announced, but yeah, he
like
is.
a Leinster POV to one side. From an Irish POV, we need him
Yeah.
even more so than I think Leinster need him because the Irish
Well,
game plan is so focused
especially
on
when
him.
other lads don't get minutes. And like I put up the tweet this weekend of like Porter's injured, Crowley's a doubt, McCluskey's injured, so on and so forth. Baird, McCarthy, Boyle, Hansen, like Tommy O'Brien. Really, those lads, like a lot of those lads shouldn't be going on the summer tour. Do you know, I got one reply saying, oh, if Ireland picked no Leinster players, they'd lose by 60 points. I'm sorry, that's bullshit. Like, if they picked no Leinster players, they could start training tomorrow.
I
Like,
mean,
if they
like if we
really
pick no
wanted
Leinster
to.
players, we'll have a squad of about 7 people. If depending on how our back you go to, like we can't have Leinster players because
4 more
like
years, baby.
it drip feeds everywhere.
But on David's
Um,
point, like I think it's especially true about like, oh, if they lost Gibson Park, because like Dan Sheehan wasn't involved in this game. Alex Hughes was on the bench. There was no Tyke Furlong. Diarmuid Mangan was back up second row. Um, we mentioned Henshaw had been absent. Osborne and Ioane, who've been a very good centre pairing, but they were the centre pairing, maybe not first choice at the start of the season. But you still feel like all those are manageable. Gibson Park goes down. It's really tough to see how you manage. Like it really, really is. And it's testament to him because like Leinster have quality across the board. They got Doris, they got Furlong, they got, Ringrose, Keane and all these guys. But Gibson Park is just so far ahead of everyone else. And I'd be reluctant to say so far of everyone else at Ireland level, because I'm a huge Craig Casey, Nathan Doak fan. But at Leinster level, he really is that far ahead of everyone else in terms of what they need as well. Go on, Adam.
It almost it having Gibson Park around that camp for the likes of Casey and Doak is so valuable for Leinster in like the meantime anyway. Because when you look at a scrum half and you look at especially how Gibson Park plays, and I'm a big massive fan, like growing up as an Ulster fan, of course, I'm a massive fan of playing off the nine. And Gibson Park does it so well that you almost want the other provinces to sort of replicate that as well. You look at the way that I would argue that Dokes looks better this year because he's got more exposure in that Ireland camp. He's learning from the likes of Jameson Gibson Park. And I feel like that's only going to make, the provinces better. And also having him down, it's like he's worth his weight in gold even though his weight is probably smaller than the other players, but I
Go
can
on,
talk.
Dave.
I'm also short.
Well, I think
Same.
it dovetails with what Kaylan says about, the lads who should travel and the lads who shouldn't travel. But definitely with the idea of Doak improving the Ireland camp, like you learn more by being a small fish in a big pond than being the biggest fish in a small pond. So like, the more we can get those players out there and get them seeing even just how other people do it, because as much as Nathan Doak might learn from Gibson Park. They're very different players. They're very different builds. They're very different attitudes. But just seeing, okay, he does it like that. I can, get some of that into my game, or maybe I can learn off of that kind of thing. I think any kind of cross pollination as much as we can at test level, it can only be a good thing. And obviously we can't do it on a regular basis because these guys are all competitors with each other at club level. But at test level, you would hope that that should be one of the main goals of the camp is that they can all learn from the best actions of each other.
Like, even if we wider picture what is like this summer, those Leinster players haven't had 3 weeks off since the Lions tour.
Do we
Some
have
of
to
them,
do the summer tour?
just on a very brief, that like Gibson Park is super important to this Irish team. That Leinster team are so important, but they haven't had weeks off in the Lions, realistically.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
the start of the season, they'd have had a bit. Like they would have come into
but they'd
Croke
have still
Park
been
game,
inside in the
but
training camp. In Croke
Just
Park, I know it
yeah,
was.
But the Lions is just one nice, happy drink beers and roll a dice and ring your coach
that's
to
that
ask him if you're
that's what it
captain.
should be. Do you know what? Bring back that status. Bring it back. But I
You
do.
can be a lion.
Yeah, you can be a line. It
Yeah.
doesn't weigh that much. The jersey. It's like yeah, we know. Um, but like on that kind of stuff, like. I do agree that what David's saying. I really do agree. You do learn from the best. I also think that unfortunately with Ireland, if the best is in camp, they get picked. It doesn't matter if Jameson Gibson Park had a broken leg, he still starts for Ireland. It's like the Hugo Keenan of 2023. It's like who's the second best fullback in Ireland? I don't know, injured Hugo Keenan. It was the case at the time, but unfortunately we keep finding ourselves. And anyways, it's I'm only going to get myself worked up. Just a reminder, right? Ireland play Australia on All Ireland Hurling semi-final weekend, actually, Ben, as it will now be called from now on in. I'm working till like 5 o'clock the night before, and then I have to get up 6 hours later, watch Ireland against Australia, full strength, and pretend to care. So I tell you, lads, I'm pre-warning you for the group chat. It's gonna be fucking bitchy hour from me because I'm gonna be one cranky fucker that morning, and I'm wrecking nerves because Galway are gonna play Leinster in semi-final. Um, moving aside. Adam, I'm going to move on to a topic, and if you interject me on this, I swear to God, I'm going to fucking get over to Liverpool and bait you. But anyways,
What do you mean?
I want to talk about attendances. This is why you're going to know why. David, you were there. You said it was a good, you know, a lot of people who were involved invested in the game as a crowd. And I think that's one thing about the Aviva. When it's just lower tier, you can really sense that investment. At the same time, it's 15,000 for URC semi-final. And there was 45,000 up the road in Croke Park to watch the mighty Galiev beat Dublin, give them a shellacking, an absolute beating in Croke Park. David's like, oh, fuck this. I didn't sign up for any of this shit.
Awfully pleased with yourself for beating Dublin at the hurling. Like
Oh, that's the most Dublin he's
Listen,
ever sounded as
listen
well.
now. Beating Dublin at hurling is difficult.
Oh, yeah, you
difficult for
have to
some
say
people, I
that.
suppose. Yeah.
Legally, you have to say that. Our
Have to say it's
non-Irish viewers are
difficult.
just so confused. Hello to our non-Irish viewers. But David, on that, like, you can say it was a very energetic, you know, bought-in crowd, but also at the same time, it's 15,000. And I was trying to track it today. Essentially, Leinster's knockout numbers, attendances as a percentage are going down and down and down, which is natural. But that probably adds to the pressure as well of 2 weeks' time. Like they kind of heaven above what happens if Leinster lose, because it does feel like there's a little bit of a disconnect growing with the very important armchair fans. What's your 2 cents on seat watch, low attendances, falling attendances, and hence their fourth?
It's oh God, it's there's a lot of layers to all of it. Like it is stark. I had someone break it down for me recently in a way that I felt was because it's easy to say like, oh, attendances are this, that, or the other, but then actually to look at the numbers and it is there is a drop off. Like we looked at the say as an example the Champions Cup the quarter final over the last 3 years in Leinster 24, 25, 26. It went from 50,000 down to 23 down to 18 this year. The semi-final in 24, now it was in Croke Park. That was an exceptional fixture, but it was 82,000. It was sold out Croke Park. To last year it was 43,000. To this year it was 38. The URC semi-final sorry, quarter final went from 18 down to 13 down to 9.5. The URC semi-final was away in 24. In 25, it was 16. This year it was, I think it ended up around that number in the end. So there is definitely drop off there. I think there's a confluence of factors there. I think June is a bad time for rugby. I think it's too late in the year. Um, it's tried to say people are on their holidays, but they are. Half my office is on holidays at the moment. This is the time when people in Ireland go on holidays if they have kids of appropriate
Can,
age.
can I play devil's advocate there? And you're going to
Yeah,
say people who play devil's advocate are a dick, and I agree. That's why I always do it.
yeah.
There was 90,000 at two hurling matches at the weekend.
That's true. Yeah.
Do you know?
But I would say as well, if you're going to go to a match of the weekend, you're probably only going to go to one.
Yes.
So there's a conflict there. And I think Leinster are suffering from God, it's kind of like what we like. First of all, they are suffering from the fact their style of rugby has changed. They used to be a lot of fun to watch, even when they weren't winning, just because they played twirly, whirly, throw it around rugby. Was it John Malloy said we're a backs team? I know you hated that, but there used to be something to that. They scored loads of tries, and people just enjoyed that aspect of it. It's changed a little bit now, and seen as less entertaining. And even if that's not the case in numbers wise, as long as that's the perception, it is going to impact people who aren't dyed in the wool Leinster fans. The fact that Leinster fail at such a high level consistently means the bar remains high, even though the rate of success doesn't go up at all. So it's hard to step down from you were in a Champions Cup final to do you want to go to a URC quarter final? Like that's a big drop down to have to then go to that the next week. Even the semi final is a drop back down again. And like Leinster are architects for their own destruction in that one, in that very openly players and coaches say that Europe is all that matters. And if you say that, then some of the fans will respond in kind and go, well, I don't care about the URC either. Um, what you then get is, I think, when Leinster aren't winning European Cups, the people who don't care that much don't go. And so you have a drop off. So what I said was then the follow on from that is when you get 9,500 in for a URC quarterfinal, or you get, I think it came up to 15,000 for a URC semi-final. The people who were there really wanted to be there and really wanted Leinster to win. And I haven't seen, like, even I said in pictures, the waves of flags the whole way down both arms next to me, the enthusiasm of the crowd. These were people who like rugby. That might be Leinster's core group. Like if there's a see that those 15,000 might have been the 15,000 season ticket holders. Like that's who's still there. Like I know everybody, well, certainly Leinster and the URC would like to see a 50,000 80,000 seater stadium full, but what they have instead is the people who really believe in Leinster are the ones who are still showing up now. The um the more malleable fan who will go when there's an occasion, who will go to Croke Park because it's a big thing to play in Croke Park, who might show up when it's a European semi-final because it's European and that's seen as more prestigious. They're not going to go to this level until they're given a reason to beyond um, it's a URC semi-final. You have to make that mean something to people, and clearly it's now having a diminishing returns. So I think it may be a bit more of a push for the final because it is a final, and at the end of the day, someone is going to lift a trophy in that stadium, and people might want to show up for that. If they price it well, it is on the URC. They're the ones running the show. It's on a Friday night. I could see a way you could build that to people. You can come along after work. You can have a few pints before. You can have a few pints afterwards. You can make a
In
night of
Croke
it.
Park? Pints in Croke Park?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. As long as you don't bring them to your seat.
Hey,
So
Are they
yeah,
doing
like
that again?
they
they'll
can't.
have to.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a Croke
yeah.
Park
It's
rule.
Crocker rule.
But it wasn't for the
Um,
NFL. You do what you wanted.
Yes, but do you realize how much money Roger
the
Goodell
NFL have a
has
lot more
under his
money than
shoe?
the
That's
UFC.
fair. That's fair.
So yeah, I think there's just well, people will him and haw, and there's a lot of conversation about it on podcasts. That's what we're having right now. I think the reasons why we know everybody knows what the reasons why. Like it makes sense. It's a team that are chronically underperforming, playing in a competition that they, by their own admission, don't care about as much as the one that they just lost. So the only people going are the people who really like them. 15,000 is still not nothing, particularly for the state of the mindset of the team and the supporters. But it's probably more a meter of where their actual fan base level sits rather than the 82,000 who showed up to Croke Park to watch them just about squeak by Northampton in 2024.
Also, like
That was
crucially,
more that was more of an occasion than
that
an example of how many fans Leinster actually have.
I was
Would
just going to
agree,
say
Ben.
that 15,000 sells the RDS. Builds it.
That's the thing as well.
And
Close,
that's
That
close, yep.
it would
like
look a much better crowd if it were in the ODS.
that's the entire aim.
Um,
It's what you did for years. Fill the RDS and then move Munster, Northampton, Bordeaux, whoever you want, into the Aviva.
Yeah.
And then it
And
looks
on that,
cracking.
because I have it here, so like the RDS attendances of their last couple of Pro 14 semi-finals, there was a URC quarterfinal there against Glasgow in 2022, which had less than 10,000. That was quite low in fairness. But their Pro 14 semi-finals through the years, 19,000 versus Ulster in 2016, 15,000 versus the Scarlets in 2017, 18 versus Munster, and 18 versus Munster in 2018 and 2019. The big thing, though, is, and I have theorized that the Irish rugby bubble burst sometime between uh, Sam Whitelock's turnover in Paris and Marcus Smith's drop goal in Twickenham in 24. Somewhere in one of those two moments burst the bubble. 2023, Leinster's round of 16 game against Ulster sold 51,000 tickets. 40,000 the following year, 50,000, 55,000 for Croke Park last year, 21,000 this year. In 2023, the quarterfinal on a 6-day turnaround sold 27,000 tickets to take on Leicester, 50,000 to take on La Rochelle, 22,000 for Glasgow, 18,000 for Sale. Semi-finals, similarly, Toulouse, 46,000. That was lower than expected in 23. Only 42 the year before, but that was the tight turnaround year. 82 for Northampton and Croke Park, 42 in the Aviva, 38 for Toulon, and then obviously the European final. And the URC semi-finals have gone from 26 versus Munster, which was close to a full house that year, 15 versus Glasgow last year, 15-7 versus Glasgow, 15-3 versus the Stormers. So they are trending downward, and I think Leinster could be a reflection of the wider Irish rugby bubble, because I think if you talk to Ulster fans or Munster fans in particular, Connacht different because they're renovating their stadium. If you talk to Munster or Ulster fans, they probably tell you, yeah, it is probably on a slide. There is probably a 5%, 2% drop off on a kind of weekly to monthly to yearly basis, to be quite honest. And that's important too. And also, these tickets are not a part of your season tickets. You have to go out and pay extra for them. Now, far from me to make jokes about the socio-economic class of South County Dublin. So we will move on. Um, this is our 50th episode, and we're going to do a preview next week. We're doing our provincial season recaps. You'll know all that. I talked to Connor and to Jen on all things Munster last week. Spoke to James on all things Connacht. That went up yesterday as we record. I'll be catching up with Adam and the Ulster crew to talk Ulster. That'll be live this week. And we will have as well the URC final preview, so I don't want to do too much on that. But what I can say is we are still on the lookout for Connacht podcast presenters as well as Leinster. So if you know of anyone, do let us know. Our breakaway shows will go live hopefully in August. But, gentlemen, we are approximately a half an hour on the nose since we hit record. It's our 50th episode. So there's only one thing that we could do for 50th episode. And that is, of course, a Do you remember me round. Because what else would you be doing apart from a Do you remember
Oh,
me round? Go on,
could
Adam.
I preface this in saying the first three players that we ever mentioned on this podcast?
Do you know what? Yes, because that's important too. So when
Yeah.
we started last June or July, it was me, Adam, and Ben at the time. And for some reason, I didn't go back and watch this. You
They
went
hadn't
back and watched
decided
this
they
during the
wanted
week.
to let me into their club at that stage.
I thought you weren't clinically insane enough.
And then we found.
Then we found out we're all the same. But yeah,
And
I
once
don't know
Keno
how
Muller
pinned
said
down.
he couldn't do it, no.
No, that's not true. I didn't ask you. I asked. Anyways, I don't want to give away your Leinster co-host
Inside
next season.
baseball.
Inside baseball. And I do a lot of inside baseball. Anyways, Adam, you went back and watched the first episode to see who they were, and can you enlighten us as to who our first three players mentioned were?
So Ben mentions the first player that was mentioned on the Interpro show. Ben mentions how Andrew Porter's scrummaging isn't great. So that's the
That's
first player.
incredible. That
And
is
then
incredible.
and then my first one, you introduced me to the podcast, and I randomly blurred out how Mike Stanley was a 2015 Samoan fly half that played twice for Ulster, but the full 2015 World Cup for Samoa. And then I proceeded to go on because then you proceeded to try and change. You tried to change the subject, and then I went on about Ricky Andrew, who was the fifth. He was John Andrew. Then you were like, "Is that John Andrew's brother?" And I said, "Yes." And he used to be coach of Spain. So the Janembers started.
Ricky Andrew, former coach of Spain, is too on the nose. Like, is he Ricky Martin's half brother or something? Like, that's too fucking obvious.
Living La Vida, John Andrew. Upside, inside out.
Stay going, stay going. The fans are gonna love this, Adam. Come on, keep going.
It's all. I'm trying to think of another. Do you remember? And God, do you remember Gareth Milosavljevic? Yeah.
This is where I step into the hosting shoes again, because when Adam does it, you get all sorts of crazy.
But
With
why
respect.
why did we bring
Go
up
on.
Gerhard van der Merwe? Can someone tell me?
Gerhard van den Haver.
Gerhard
Oh,
van der yeah.
it's because he was the fourth one I mentioned because Kalon went, the fastest man to ever grace a Thurman Park pitch. Do you remember him?
In fairness, that man
He
was
was.
rapid. He was rapid. Too bad he couldn't do the other things that involve playing rugby, but he was fast. Very South African winger in that regard. Anyways, I don't even have names looked up. I'm just going to do this
Uh-oh.
and just go. So best of luck, gentlemen. I'll try and do one per year three provinces and maybe an Ireland one, and then maybe a bonus round. So may the best man win. We're going to start with a man who was born in Bristol, right? You can jump in at any time. He was born in Bristol and played second row and
Don't do.
finished. How did you know that? How
That's
did you know that?
insane.
What the fuck? I was going to say he'd finished his career at Van. David hadn't even got a chance to finish. He finished his career at Van and captained the Barbarians in a 2016 tour against Czech Republic, which I'm
Yeah,
now starting to
and
think
also-
maybe Adam wrote that part of his
And
Wikipedia page.
Also, as well, he was class in 2050. Like, he was class against New Zealand the time that we nearly won against him, broke his arm, and then he never played for Ireland again. Sorry, Dan too. He's a good lad. Yeah.
No, that was
Bit of an
insane.
expert.
Well done. That's incredible.
That was an unbelievable pull, but I'm also like, how in the name of all that's
He's
holy
played.
did you get that?
He's played like 100 times for Ulster. Let me just look this up.
Oh yeah,
One
he has.
Kalon put actually work into and research that's gone in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh no, I
he's-
didn't. To be fair, Adam did say, "Will we do a remember round?" And I said, "Grand," and I was like, "I haven't written these down. I can't put them in the doc because you only go and cheat."
I think.
So you know,
I didn't have any hands on keyboards there. By the way, I was like born in Bristol. I was like Dan Toohey was born in Bristol.
it's remarkable. It really is. There's something wrong with that kid. Right,
It's
I'm
probably-
just going
it's
to
probably
go. And,
undiagnosed something. Let's face it.
yeah,
No, I'd
look,
say
we've all.
he was the Rain Man of rugby, but there's no way he gets that reference.
That's a fair point.
Rain Man, David Shanahan. No. Anyway.
Right, I'm gonna do the next one. This is a winger from Kilkenny. He went to Clongowes and also went to
We've had him
Griffith.
before.
Did we?
I think maybe. Keep going.
Okay. Also played centre. Played 184 games for Leinster. I think we may have had this guy before.
We have,
Now,
and I got
now
it
that
wrong
you
at the
say
time. Yeah,
okay, I'm gonna skip on
Yes.
to another player. It was gonna be Fergus McFadden. We
Yeah.
already had
Yeah.
him.
American, yeehaw.
it was like our first Christmas do you remember thing that we
Yeah.
did.
Oh,
He
it's
was
something
one
I
of
did.
them.
Yeah.
Right, we didn't have this one, right? This guy is a meme. Depending on your how old you are, you may have a meme of this guy. I have a meme of this guy from when he was kind of half playing. Right, so this man is only 32, but he is retired. His brother played Ireland sevens, and he had a breakout year in 2018, winning a Grand Slam and a European Cup. Grand Slam with Ireland, a European Cup with Leinster. I'm trying to find something to not give you his position, because the position would be too much of a giveaway. But yeah,
Dan
his
Levy.
Brother was a 7.
it is Dan Levy.
Yeah.
Well done. Okay, we're back on track here. We're
His
doing
brother played
okay.
sevens.
Yeah, his brother Adam
Did
played
he?
sevens. Yeah,
Oh.
that's true. No, see, you learn something new every day, lads. I've said
Yeah.
it before, do you know? Sorry, I'm just having to fucking scroll through
Dan
here
Levy
and go
played the
through
same
the.
age.
Well, look, you're both at the same
No,
stage now.
I'm actually older than him, to be fair. Yeah.
Well,
Crack on.
that's kind of ruined that. Right, the next man is also retired, but he is 38. He had a flag for him before.
Oh,
Played for Cork on.
Oh God.
Stephen Archer.
It is
Archie,
Stephen
Archie.
Archer.
As soon as you said flag, I was like,
That's my favorite flag.
That's
in
too. There's a joke there, but I can't say it. You can say it, but I can't say it about Adam
yes.
knowing flags.
I
Oh,
understand
Adam
it
and
now.
Flags, yes, of course.
Not a flag.
Right.
just like
It's a
you,
flag.
just like you in chairs. Anyway,
Shut the fuck up. So it's David 1, Adam 2. Ben, you could really do with getting the next one.
I mean, we do remember, and I'd say I get maybe 2 ever when we do these.
That's true.
I just sit in the corner and I'm like, rugby's fun.
I remember rugby. I remember those days, back in those days.
I'm the Homer Hedge meme, only slightly worse, because I can't actually go anywhere.
Right, I'm gonna get the next one. This is an active player who played rugby this season, so he is very active. Captained the Emerging Ireland in 2022.
Kendo.
No,
Not Kendo.
not Kendo. He was the year after, or maybe 2 years after. 2 years after. Was a breakout talent at under 20.
Max Deegan.
It is Max Deegan. Correct. Right. That's our 5.
He was under 20s player of the
Player
year,
of the
isn't he?
year,
Yeah.
2016. Yeah. I think he was.
First
Anyway.
time the under 20s beat the All
Captain Emerging
Blacks.
Ireland at like
Yeah.
21.
No, 2022 and
Yeah.
2016 he was under
20.
20.
Ah, okay. Sorry.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
because Max Deegan was in an Ireland squad with like Jacob Stockdale. Who else was in that squad?
He's 29. He's of the same vintage as like James Ryan, I want to say.
James Ryan, Andrew
Yeah.
Porter, Hugo
Yeah.
Keenan, Shane Daly. You know what? That's a good shout. Let's look up Ireland's under 20s World Cup 2016 squad. Peter Claffey was in that year, I'm pretty sure. The now famous actor on House of the Dragon. So there's one for you.
Oh.
Bet you didn't know
Yeah.
that, guys. There's no squads on this. Right.
Yeah,
That's-
Claffey's a
that's a good
96
Happy
boy.
50th.
Is that when James Ryan was playing for Munster? Is that around that era? too?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was around
Yeah,
that
it was
time.
around
Yeah,
around that time,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
James Ryan famously played for Munster, but they had to wear blue.
It's the only way to
Adam,
get him down.
do you remember Adam McBurney? Because he was hooker
Yes.
that day.
I
It was
remember
Sean
Adam
O'Connor, James Ryan,
Ad-
second row.
Adam McBurney plays with Freddie Burns in Romania. That's a random fact right now.
That is very random.
He also
Uh,
nearly played for Scotland. Did he get capped for Scotland in the end? He didn't.
Don't think so. Greg
didn't, no.
Jones was at 6, Max Deegan at 8, Stephen Kearns
Greg
was at 9.
Jones.
Greg
Hold
Jones,
on.
yeah.
As in
Dublin
the Greg,
finest.
as in, do you remember Greg Jones, the Ulster rugby player?
I do. It was only a year ago. Johnny McPhillips was at 10. Hugo Keenan 11.
Oh.
Connor O'Brien was at 12. Brother of
Keenan was a
John.
winger.
Keenan
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
winger, and Stockdale was at
Keenan-
15. With
Keenan's
Shane
first
Daly
caps
at
for
13.
Ireland were on the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, I
He
just
scored 2 tries on his
he's
Ireland debut.
15.
And the backup out half that
Good.
day was one Brett Connon of Newcastle Falcons. So now, yeah. But what's mad is the Ireland benches. Yeah, it's fine. Jimmy O'Brien's in there. The England bench had Harry Randall, Jack Willis, and Will Stewart. So I can kind of see why they won the final. We're not doing a great job at this, do you remember? I'm challenged, to be quite honest.
I've
That
got one.
Romanian club that those lads play for has a great name, by the way. It's called CS Dynamo Bucharesti.
Yeah, I seen that. It
Great
is a
name.
good name.
Fair. If
in
people have done
fairness.
50 episodes of this, they're well used to this by now.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Like they can't.
That
do
is
it.
true.
How did you describe it previously with a rugby guide to
1949.
parenting?
Yes, a rugby guide to parenting. Yeah, pretty much.
There is a former Ulster Academy 10 that's playing for Zimbabwe at the minute.
Oh, I know this. Fuck, I seen this somewhere. Someone pointed out. You pointed out to me.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't think of it. What's his name again?
Is it Bruce Dallas?
Oh
That's
yeah,
an
that was it.
excellent name.
It
That's
is
the
a good
most
name.
Ulster
Yeah, it is.
name possible. I love it so much.
Hey Jude Postlethwaite, how are you?
Bruce Dallas Paisley.
Bruce Dallas McLeod, Cowboys Paisley.
Yeah, that sounds like an Irish bar out there.
Oh yeah,
Dallas Paisley.
Bruce Dallas sounds like he would have been Chuck Norris's sidekick. That's what Bruce Dallas sounds like.
Right. For the interest of fairness, call me the BBC. I'm going to do one for the interest of fairness and to balance things up a tiny bit. This one is for Ben and Ben only, so please
Oh
don't jump
no,
in.
this is a bad idea.
No, this is a very good idea. Right, so this is a retired Munster player who's 37, went to Arsquill Reach,
Oh God.
loves sushi.
Oh, killer.
Yeah.
Killer.
It is. It's Dave Kilcoyne. My next one is going to be he has a podcast. So at least now it's 2,
Does
2,
he?
and 1. Yeah,
Talk sport.
Who listens to
Talk
that?
Talk with Luke Delaney.
Sorry.
I listen to it. I like Luke. And Killer's good crack too. But I like Luke.
Killer's
Luke's a nice guy.
killer.
Yeah.
I can't
There's
wait.
also a second Dave
Uh,
Kilcoyne on Wikipedia.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the 100th podcast being our crossover with Happily Married.
Sure. Whatever you say.
Hey, I got a symphony point. Everyone's happy.
Yeah. Yeah, Kira's happy. So, right, I don't really have another one, so I'm just gonna like pick a random ass year of Six Nations. So it's gonna be a non-Irish Six Nations player. I'm just gonna go in, pick the squads, find
Joe
someone.
Launchbury.
Dusatoir.
Jesus Christ.
This is such,
Yeah, but I can't do
such a
Dusatoir.
strong end to the season.
This is such
Morgan
a
Parra.
yeah. This is how you know we're absolutely finished with this season.
This is how you
We're
know
so
nobody on this
tired.
podcast except me gives a shit about Leinster being in the URC final.
I do. I might be
I
working
wish
on
you
the
nothing
game.
but success. I don't want this African team to win it. So Leinster, unfortunately,
There's
I'm
something
cheer
I
for
can't
now.
say on the podcast because otherwise someone would find my employer and make sure I don't work in the final. But
It's fair.
let's just say you all
No.
know the record I have in Leinster games so
The
far
only
this
the only
season.
upside I could see to I mean though if I had to look at the bright side of every cloud, I mean it'd be catastrophic if we lost a home final again.
It would.
But outside of that, for the tournament, it would be 5 winners in 5 years. So sing
That's
along,
true.
lads.
Getting the
very
excuses out of the way earlier.
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
really
that's very
don't want the
diplomatic of you,
Bulls to win it. Like of all the Springbok teams, you don't really want it to be them. No
I'm
offense.
not. I'm gonna say this now. Being on the
Wait.
United Rewind, see the amount of Bulls comments that randomly have just appeared. I was like, I've never seen a Bull comment in my life. It's
Do
only the
you know what that
Stormers.
do you know what that reminds me of? Cork hurling fans. Way!
He's done
I
it.
wouldn't mind. I didn't really give a shit who won yesterday.
Dara O'Donovan, Marky Quave, lads, I
Yeah.
tell you.
Darragh O'Donovan is a Graham Souness fan. I never thought I'd say that sentence on a podcast in 2026, to be quite honest. Right, I have one. This is a Bath player. All right, that's your first guess. His father played international rugby. Okay. He was born in France, lives in England, but qualified to play for Scotland. Okay. So Bath, Scotland international. Father played international
Redpath.
rugby. Yes. What's his first name?
Redpath, Cameron Redpath.
Okay, we have to give it to Adam. That's a
Well
good
done,
pull.
Adam. That's really good.
That's good. He won his Six Nations debut back in 2021. So I was working off the 2023 Six Nations. I was going through that. We're
I
rolling
remember
solid.
he was going to
It's
be
Scott Penny.
hot
Yes, he was.
shit, and then he just disappeared.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
He
I
was
remember-
unbelievable on debut, I think, in Twickenham or something like
Well,
that.
he only
But
has 15 caps. No, yeah, 15 caps.
yeah.
That's wild.
Pity. So it's always a pity when like I don't know, talented players just get stuck on caps, you know. Ah, that's what happens when you got a coach there for a while. Yeah. Townsend out. You know, I can't really I'm a huge Franco Smith fan, but I can't even go down that line because they absolutely bottled it at the weekend. And to kind of wrap things up, to get back to the rugby for a minute, because we've talked about a lot of games this season. We still have about 5 or 6 to go. 5 to go, I think. 4 to go. Four. The 3 summer games and the URC final. Gentlemen, it seems our 50th episode. Let's be positive. Adam, what has been your favorite game of this season in terms of emotion, randomness, whatever it might be? What is your favorite?
The Newport v Zebra Challenge Cup quarterfinal.
Oh, it's a strong choice.
It was really good.
This is bad for
No,
audio, but the rest of us are just like, oh, fuck this. It's a
no,
Monday.
no,
No,
no.
I'm just jealous. I didn't think of that.
It is the most
It was
Adam
it was
answer. It's wonderful.
It is.
it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I think it had all the highs, all the lows, and
I can't
also
believe you watched it.
I was glued to it. It was just on. It was just on the TV. It was like my
Adam, were you
girlfriend wa
viciously hungover?
no, I wasn't. It was on a Friday. Like Jody walked in and was like, "What are you watching?" And I was like, "Oh, this Welsh team's playing this Italian team." And she went, "Why?" And I was like, "Uh-huh." And it was great.
Don't ever start a sentence with my missus walked in and asked me what I was watching. It just goes downhill from there, to be quite honest. David, I'm gonna ask you next. What's been your favorite game of the season so far? With 4 to go, of course.
4 to go.
Yeah, Leinster plus 3 Ireland games.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Gosh, I don't know. No, probably. Are we talking club rugby?
it can be either.
The Ireland England game was good because we've been at a dip, and it was nice to be good again, and to be good against the English is always particularly nice. So, yeah, I enjoyed that one. It's good to get a statement win in Six Nations, even if you're not going to win the tournament, and that was a pretty good game.
Yeah, that was fun. I watched that in the pub, and there is something about an Irishman chasing an Englishman and hunting him down that just got everyone a little bit excited. Ben, I probably have a fair idea what you're going to say, but what has been your
I'm
favorite
not going to
game of
say
the
Croke
season?
Park. I'm not going to
Ah,
say
that's
Croke Park.
boring. He's going to go with
Italy,
friendship.
Italy, England.
That was fun
Just for what
too.
it was, and it was just
That
an
was fun.
excellent afternoon. Um, it's probably my favorite game of rugby I've watched this year in terms of this is really entertaining and it's happening to England.
True. Menicello, what a man.
And like,
I watched
I didn't
that.
have much other happiness, really, did I?
Yeah, that's fair. You remember this? I watched that in the small little Dolphin RFC clubhouse in Musgrave because I was down covering the under 20s that night, and there was Irish fans and there was Welsh fans, and when Menicello made that break, there was a and then when the try was scored, there was a yay, which is incredibly fine. Rivalries are a good thing.
I think I was in the Gaelic grounds. There was hurling league on. I remember watching that in a pub in Limerick
I think
and
you're
then
right.
Um,
going
Yeah,
across. It was
I was at a
excellent. But
small.
hmm?
best weekend of Six Nations ever.
I was at a
I
small pub in Trim on a stag, and everyone was betting to it. It was a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
it was one of the better
It's
days of this
England.
year. It was excellent.
And do you know
I
what?
was
We
watching
have
it in a
England
pub in
against
England.
Croatia coming up next week. I'm
Yeah.
just throwing it out there. That could be a generational hate watch to use
I
Ben's
love
terms.
I love that I love that we've inadvertently become that Guinness ad that they pulled of it's not about who you want to win.
Inadvertently.
It's a bit,
Do you know?
Let's rewind
No,
about
no.
40 episodes here. It's called Generational Trauma. Let's bring that one back up again.
The thing is, I watched that in a pub in England, and I had one of my one of the family there, and he was watching it. It was his first England game, and it was his first away game for the Six Nations, and he's English, and I just messaged him all throughout it, just going hey, 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 hey. I was just rubbing my hands,
It's
going,
funny when it
"This is
doesn't happen
class."
to us.
Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
Because Menicello almost beat Ireland by himself as well. So like it was kind of a funny when it doesn't happen to us. Um,
Jello, what
I
game would you go for?
I would have to throw in Ireland winning in Twickenham was class. And it was one of the few Six Nations matches I got to watch with the family because it was one of the only ones I wasn't working on live, so that was pretty cool. But and I said this on a different podcast, can't remember which one it was, my apologies. Being in the Dexcom for Ireland against Scotland was pretty cool. As a Galway man, as someone who has followed this women's team for years, as someone who's a big advocate of women's sport, it just felt right.
it's
It felt
really
cool.
It's just really unfortunate that we played Italy in Dexcom.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain degree. And the Scotland game on the flip side, because it was in the Aviva, and yeah, if it was a little bit tighter, you could have got into that kind of
Oh, I
stuff.
meant
But
because you said Scotland in Dexcom.
oh, my
Yeah,
apologies. Sorry,
yeah.
I did not notice. I'm tired. But yeah,
They were
against
both. I was at both games. They were both fantastic. Like they're
they
both
were
really good pulls.
they were, and it was great crack. Now, in fairness, I've done a couple of away days, and I've been at like 23 matches this season. I'd be lying if I said, do you know what, like underrated shout was the AIL finals. Unbelievable occasion, two unbelievable games, a great advertisement. But
That
yeah,
was a really good day out.
here's to many, many more. But as I said, we've got four more games left. So next week we're gonna have a show at some stage, maybe Wednesday. I don't know what days I'm working. I think Wednesday. I think Wednesday's free.
We turn
Uh,
it around to football.
don't worry, it's fine. Week one is a bit of a yeah. There's like a maximum of two good games a week for the first week of the World Cup. Um, so you all know that myself and Ben are going to be doing a FIFA World Cup. No, we're not doing a FIFA World Cup podcast. But if you wanted to, give us a thumbs up down below if you want an unhinged Irish lads
I
react to the
love that.
FIFA World Cup.
I,
I I
today we're
promise
going
I
to
won't
talk
call
about.
anything I hate watch. It'll be fine. People won't get mad at me.
That's true. As long as you're not asking, I hope this goes to a shootout. You should be fine.
Today we're
But
going to watch Germany versus Quaco, the smallest Caribbean island ever to qualify in the World Cup. Go
that
on, the
was
boys!
that was a very good TV accent. I will say that was a very good TV voice.
I, I
Are
made
Um,
Leinster
sure.
winning on Saturday? Saturday week.
again, for everyone at home, next week we'll be back. We will preview the URC
Is,
final.
is Leinster going to win or is it going to be bullshit?
Hey! Oh my God, I'm so tired. Anyway,
So,
for the
so
third
yeah,
time, I'm not going to tell you again. We're going to preview the URC final next week on the Intro Show. United Rugby Rewind will have possibly a preview, I'm not 100% sure, but also they will have a recap show of that game, as will we. We'll have a Leinster season recap show to come. David will be on a bit of an animal, looking ahead to the URC Grand Final with team sheets and the all here on the Global Gainline channel if you're coming to us on YouTube, or a bit of an animal on Spotify. We already have our Munster season recap with Connor and Jen. That's already gone up. The Connor, I said Munster first time. Please tell me I said Munster first. I did.
You did,
Okay.
yes.
The Connacht season recap with myself and James has already gone up as well. That went up last night, so that'll be close in the feed. United Rugby Rewind from last night with Adam, with Ethan, and with Mohammed. And Hugh, of course, don't forget Hugh, is already in your feed as well on Global Gainline. But as the season nearly comes to an end, and as we surpass 50 episodes, I just want to say thank you to the three lads. The three, I don't want to say wise men, because they may have misdirected things quite a few times. One wise man and two men who absolutely fucking love chaos, I think is the best way of putting it. And you know who you are. But gentlemen, thank you very much for the first 50. And hopefully there's another 50, 150, 200 episodes to come out of this until we're selling out live shows on Spotify and making jokes at the expense of other podcasts.
Oh,
Onwards and
that'd
upwards.
me flying back every time. You're right, lads.
Hey, do you know what? We'll do one from over there. Fuck it. We'll do one from over that side, across the water. Across the water, we'll do a podcast as well.
The dream is that the podcast gets successful enough that we can replace Caelan with Joe Malloy. That's the.
Or Ian Madigan. Or
See, I'm
an
not against that
actual.
one. That one I'm not against. I like Matty. It would be a bit imbalanced, but apart from that, like I think it's okay. Because in all fairness, like yes, it'd be a bit imbalanced, but also at the same time, there's yourself and Ben. So but we're gonna have a huge season to come next year with four provincial podcasts. The Interpro show is going to be bigger and better than ever. We're going to have the women's Interpros. We're going to hopefully have interviews. We're going to have so much underage stuff as well. Rugby after dark essentially is going to be coming, because there's going to be
And
left, right, and centre
you
rugby.
can't say that sentence really
I
close to your
just
You
realised.
can't go underage and go after dark.
No,
There's not.
no, you can't.
Oh, I
You can't
forgot
say
to
that.
say rugby, and
That's-
it just
I-
because I didn't want to say rugby twice.
To
No,
anyone who's still
there's no
here on this
other word.
particular
There's no
episode,
other
thank you.
synonym to
Let's
use
cut it.
bar
Let's cut
rugby.
it. We're
It's
done,
it's
right? We're
okay.
done. I'm out. We're done. From myself, from all the lads, for 50 episodes, thank you very much. And I'll chat to you very, very soon. Good luck.
Bye.